Here's some more bad luck stories for your entertainment. We'll start with today. Today, as I'm on my way to my brother's house, going down the road, and just about the time I'm getting close to my exit, my brother calls, and it distracts me, and I miss my exit. How's that for a good start of the day? Here's another story. My brother was telling me when he was in the Navy that he had a sailor underneath him that ended up injuring his hand, and the corpsman on ship couldn't fix it, so they had to send him on shore to the hospital to have it fixed. While he was there, the ship was getting ready to leave, and the information about where he was at got mixed up, so he was only getting put on AWOL. So my brother had to go fix that for him. Here's some more bad luck in my life. Is I lost one job due to plant closing. Actually two jobs. I lost one job due to a plant layoff after they bought the company out that I worked for. After about a year, after actually about 2 years, they decided to lay off most employees that they hired from that plant because all they wanted was the business. I also have retained a bachelor's degree 2 years ago in IT, specifically routers and switches, networking, and I have been having trouble getting a job because even entry-level jobs require 1 2 years experience. Entry-level jobs tell me that now that's bad luck, because how is it anybody who's hiring had to get experience somewhere, but they seem to don't want to give me else any experience on an entry-level job. There's some bad luck for you. Now here's another story. It's not so much dumb luck, it's just stupid luck, I guess, or just not paying attention. But I know somebody who used to park in their parents' front yard, and there's a water well that sticks out of the ground, and they've hit it not once, not twice, not 3, but 4 times. She's also ran over a stump, dozed off the wheel, off the road, ran over a stump. She's driving down the road in town and swerved and ended up catching a pole on the side of her car. I also know somebody else who had, at their workplace, had gotten Employee of the Month, and in doing so, got a $100 bonus, and was so happy when they were driving home to tell their husband that they ended up getting a speeding ticket, which cost them, wait for it, $100. So that went same day. Here's some more bad luck, or however you want to rate this in any categories. I knew a guy who, this girl was interested in him, and he worked with her, and he invited her and her parents out for a weekend in another town to go get something to eat and ride the go-karts. Well, somehow this activity went from just the 4 of them to a group activity, which included 2 of her girlfriends and somebody else that they worked with. We'll leave out the details on that one. And after all these events, they went back home to the other town, went back to her place, and all of a sudden they're talking, and she wanted to do something else with her friends, and she asked the co-worker if they wanted to go, and they said no. Then she turned around and asked the guy then later on, she turned and asked the guy that had just took her and her folks out for dinner, paid for theirs, not everybody else, just theirs, then asked him, why didn't she ask him first if he was taking them out? If that wasn't bad enough, later on, the same guy that she was supposedly interested in asked her to order him something for lunch at work, not the other coworker, but when she's interested in. And she asked him why he wouldn't do it, and he said, well, he would, but he forgot his phone. She said, okay. So he went back to work. That was after the first break, not lunch break yet. So he went back to work, and when lunch came, as he was walking towards the doors, he had a suspicion that she didn't order it. So he asked her, and she goes, no, I didn't order it. So he went and took care of himself, and of course the next day, he comes back, and just as at the first break, on the next day, she came up and says, if you want something to eat, I'll be more happy to order it for you. And he looked at her and he goes, that's okay. If I want something, I'll order it myself. There's some dumb luck. I mean, you trust somebody and they do something like that for you. And she was pretending to like him. That's ridiculous. Also know a guy who moved from one state to the other, looking for a better job market, and is struggling to find a decent job, at least a enjoyable one anyway. And also want to do some golfing, but unfortunately it's either too hot or it rains, so you can't get no golfing in. So there's some more dumb luck. Here's some more crazy luck. This is me. I'm here using YouTube to try to earn a little extra cash, but it seemed like the videos I make, the category, like I made one with life experiences, and one of them, some of the videos had to do with my brother's pet, who does some funny stuff, which I videotaped and put online. The problem is there's so many pet videos out there that it's hard to get any views for it. So there's some, actually this, and it's probably more entertaining than what you're seeing now. And this is getting not very many views, but it's getting more than that one has. So there's some more dumb luck for you. I know a guy that used to drive a lot for his workplace, but he had an accident, so he couldn't drive anymore. So obviously he had some bad luck. It wasn't really his fault. It just happened. I don't want to go into too many details about that. But of course the accident has to affect the job. He can do any other job, just that job he's really good at, it affected and he really couldn't do it anymore because he can't drive anymore. There's some bad luck. Another good one is I'd get 2, 3, 4, on a bad day, 5 spam calls a day. I was getting tired of it, so I thought I'd put myself on a no-call list because I had a new phone. So I put myself on a new call list that very day. As soon as I got hung up, within the hour I started getting spam calls. I ended up getting 22 spam calls in about 5 hours. That's dumb luck, but luckily I was able to overcome that luck because believe it or not, dumb luck, I come up across on my phone one day an anti-spam blocker on my phone. So I took a chance and downloaded it. I know you really should be more careful, but I took a chance and I downloaded it. And sure enough, it did work and it got rid of the spam blocker. So there's a little bit of dumb luck creating the good luck. Here's another dumb luck story. I used to work for a grocery store, and one day I was working the frozen food. I had some ice cream out. And of course, a lady was wanting a certain kind that was out on the shelf, but I had it on my pallet. And you know where it was out on the pallet? You guessed it, on the very bottom. And as I go ahead and dig it out for her, as I'm digging out, I get about halfway to it. She goes, "Hey, I'm really sorry." And I'm thinking, yeah, you let me get halfway down here, now you're sorry. I mean, I don't mind getting it for people, but just don't say you're sorry, because you're not. If you're really sorry, you want to done it, you just say, "Hey, I'll come back and get on the shelf and I'll get it then." But no, they want me to dig it out, so no, not too terribly sorry. Another story is I was unloading a truck one day with the handheld pallet jack. Unfortunately, no, actually, it was a hand jack, but it was power jack. It wasn't manual, and it was power to it. But I went out to pull out a pallet of water, and those guys at the warehouse, when they stacked it off, what did they do? It was a plastic pallet, but what did they do? They flipped upside down where the entries for the pallet was on top where they put the water. So when I went into the entries to jack up, I couldn't jack it up because the full part of the pallet was on the bottom and the holes for the wheels were on top with protect the water. So that made it extremely difficult to get out. Now here's another dumb luck story. Well, not dumb luck, it was just crazy luck. I went to pull into my apartment complex. It was just past dusk. It was pretty dark outside. As I'm getting ready to hit the entrance, I look and here's a car coming. It damn near hits me because it didn't have lights on and it was a dark blue car. So, fortunately, I avoided an accident. But the fact is, it's dark outside and they don't have their lights on and they have a dark car, so I couldn't see anything. But I did avoid the accident. Here's another story. I went to Walmart to get my glasses fixed, and the first time I went there, the guy that fixed them wasn't there, so I had to come back. So I go back, and he's there, and I show him my frames, and he didn't have any in the store, but he was going to get some. And I said, well, can I come back next Saturday and I'm fixing it? He goes, yes. So what I do, I come back, this is Saturday, this happened today. I go back there and he's not there. So I couldn't get him fixed. Luckily, my brother and sister-in-law, I was talking to them on the phone, and they said to try a different Walmart on because we went to their house anyway on the way there. So I did. Sure enough, they had the lady there that could fix them, and we had the frames. I got them fixed. So the bad luck turned into good luck, but still, it's just crazy that they tell me they're going to be there and they're not. That's just crazy. Here's another one for you. When I was in high school, played on the local high school football team. One of the positions I did was I was a place kicker and the PAT kicker. Well, one day in practice, I'm warming up, kicking PATs, and there's people getting the balls and throwing them back to us so we can kick them again. While I'm standing up there to do I was a starter, so I'd kick a couple of them, and we rotate. There was three of us, and after about 3 or 4 kicks, I went up. It was my turn again. So I'm sitting there focusing on the ball on the mat, or not the mat, but the flat tee that you kick them off of. And just as I was getting ready to go kick it, one of the balls that the other guys behind the goalpost had thrown had hit me right square in the you-know-what. And I dropped. And everybody got a good laugh. I eventually got up, but everybody got a good laugh out of that one. And here's another good one. I used to work at a box factory. And, of course, we use ink to print on the boxes. And some ink come in 5-gallon buckets. Some ink come out of barrels. Well, if you get out of the barrel, it has an air pump on the top. You turn it, and it pumps the ink through the hose. Down the end, on the nozzle, has a little valve that shuts on and off. So you got 2 places, the air pump and the nozzle. Well, I wasn't there when this happened, but one guy, and the barrel had black ink in it. He had his bucket down to put the ink in there, and he opens up the valve. Well, somebody didn't shut off the air before, so the ink had built up, all that pressure, and it shot the ink straight out in the barrel, hit it so hard with the force that it come back up, sprayed him in the face, black ink over his face, over his shirt. And of course, he's kind of blind. He didn't get in his eyes, but your first reaction was to close your eyes. And while his eyes were closed, he had the hose up in the air and just kept shooting ink all over the place. So that's kind of a funny dumb luck story, but I guess it's going to get ink in his eyes, but it's still a pretty good story. If you have any crazy stories that you like to tell, just put it in the comments area. I'm sure people will be entertained by them. Thanks again.